Robert, I'm going to toss it to you. Final one of the evening, and same question everybody gets. Why are you bullish?
I already exhausted my answers for this earlier. We talked about adversarial thinkers. Bitcoiners often say adversarial thinking is very key to understanding the value proposition of Bitcoin, right? That's how, for me, it was like when you actually get into the game theory of it, that's when I started to flirt with the word like inevitable. It felt like it was a very fundamental driver of individual human psychology. And I didn't see how that couldn't manifest at the socioeconomic scales of institutions and whatnot. So it's interesting, right? Because it's kind of it's an aggressive word, frankly, adversarial thinking. So you're basically thinking about the economics of force, the possibilities of force. How could someone exploit you or coerce you? How to protect yourself from such coercion or exploitation. And I think it's exciting that it's a bit ironic and exciting for me. This adversarial thinkers obviously gravitate towards Bitcoin, but then perhaps in the long run, Bitcoin's actually going to make us less actually adversarial. Like maybe we'll all become more adversarial thinking, and in doing so, we'll be better guarded against physical adversity. And so it's a very there's this term opponent processing. They use it in psychology. One of the, like, your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system are in opponent processing. They're two opposite systems pulling you two different directions, and the center point of that dynamic center point is your arousal state, basically physical arousal, like wakefulness, not necessarily sexual. And so I hope that Bitcoin is something like this radically newly discovered incentive vortex that actually starts to tilt human psychology in a different evolutionary direction. Like, that sounds crazy and it's a mouthful, but like, we do co-evolve with our tools to some extent. And I think money is a very powerful incentive system. So the possibility of that enabling us to steer ourselves to be more, let's say, peaceful opponent market actors, right? We're actually competing with one another ruthlessly, but peacefully, right? We can all just be ruthless, peaceful capitalists who have a really bad rap, but in reality, all they're doing is solving customer problems better, faster, cheaper. And so that seems like the most productive channel for our inherently animalistic energies. And I'm excited and bullish that Bitcoin might actually be one of those giant leaps forward along that path.
So I find this line of thinking interesting. It makes me think of a conversation I had with somebody a while back. We were getting a little bit cosmic with things, but we were talking about the idea of the Fermi paradox, where it's like, well, why, if there's, been X number of billions of years since the creation of the universe, why haven't we seen evidence of life elsewhere? Like, you would think we would have come across something already. And so it's either we are the first to go this far and we will be the first to visit others, or that there's some sort of great filter that prevents living beings from going beyond a certain point. And one of the things that came up was, is the creation of Bitcoin us passing that great filter? Was that the thing where, in order to actually productively work together, we need a system that can't be subverted by taking away the fruits of people's labor? So I kind of like that idea there.
Yeah, and it ties into Lynn's thing earlier about cars, right? And the thing I tried to add to it was the cascading effects of cars. Well, cars gave us the modern city and urban density and all the benefits of that. Maybe Bitcoin gives us something like starships, right? To your point, like, you do get this radical explosion in innovation and wealth creation. And I mean, where would we go from there? I assume it would be out.